Local authorities are asking for your help to find a missing child. We have the latest. Voter registration ends today for this year's election. We have more, and severe weather will be here this weekend. This is OU Nightly. Nightly, I'm Dacoda McDowell-Wahpekeche.
And I'm Summer Miller. Tonight, Oklahoma City police need your help with finding a missing person. Noah Mack has more information in the newsroom. Noah?
Yeah, Summer, Oklahoma City police is calling on the public to help locate a missing girl. In a Facebook post today, police shared a photo of a 17-year-old Madison Rife. They do not believe there was any foul play involved. They just want to find her and make sure she's safe. Authorities say she ran away from home and has been missing for nearly 2 months. If you know anything about where she is, you're asked to call 911. Dacoda, Summer, back to you.
Thanks, Noah. Now we have a chance of severe weather.
OU Nightly meteorologist Peyton Galyean has more on this, and don't worry, it won't ruin your football in Norman. Peyton?
Yes, Dacoda is right. Everything severe-wise is going to come in tomorrow night. So if you have plans today, do them now. Temperatures at 84 degrees here in Norman, 85 in Oklahoma City, down towards the Red River, a little bit warmer. So with the storms coming in tomorrow night, this evening is when you want to do any plans you have for homecoming weekend. Starting at 5 p.m., 81, temperature slowly dropping to 68. This morning you had that jacket and cardigan. You quickly ditched it. Same is going to be said for tomorrow. And coming up in Maine weather, I'm going to talk about that rain returning with that severe threat coming through in your game day and homecoming football forecast.
Thanks, Peyton. Now, the election season is rapidly approaching, and the deadline to register ends today at 5. The deadline is almost here, but it's not too late. You can go to oklahoma.gov and register online. OU organizations across campus have spent time preparing and protesting because the election has high stakes. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt is running against State Superintendent Joy Hoffmeister.
Former President Donald Trump is facing a congressional subpoena. Gabriela Tumani has the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center.
Yeah, guys, the House Select Committee unanimously voted Thursday to subpoena former President Donald Trump. The committee unveiled new updates to the public. They showed video evidence revealing Trump knew he had lost the election, but still moved forward with efforts to overturn the results. The move marks the culmination of the committee's year-and-a-half-long investigation. A mass shooting in Raleigh, North Carolina has killed 5 people and left at least 2 people wounded Thursday evening. Officials say the suspect is a 15-year-old male. The Raleigh Police Department says the crime scene extended over 2 miles throughout neighborhood streets in a nearby greenway, ending in a standoff that left the 15-year-old shooter critically injured. An important recall for parents. Abbott Labs announced some formula infants and kids are being pulled from shelves. The lab says some bottles may have defective caps and not seal completely, resulting in spoilage. If a child consumes this spoiled formula, it could cause problems such as vomiting or diarrhea. Abbott says the recall involves a small fraction of the total infant formula and should not affect the overall supply. Today is also a sad day for Harry Potter fans. Robbie Coltrane, actor who played Hagrid in the Harry Potter film franchise, died at the age of 72. Dacoda, Summer, back to you in the desk.
Thanks, Gabriela. Pets in the Norman Animal Shelter need your help. This facility currently holds 78 dogs. However, they have room for 57. This is causing dogs to be placed in cages in unconventional spaces like offices and lobbies. Norman Animal Welfare doesn't euthanize for space. However, with more dogs coming every day, they are in a rough spot.
All shelters and rescues are struggling right now due to reasons that we really don't know.
For the month of October, adoption fees are waived, giving the Norman community a free opportunity to give a dog a new forever home.
That's awesome. Now, when we come back, how one Metro kid helps his community.
We'll have more on how this high schooler completed the 50-yard challenge after the break.
And we talked about it earlier, severe weather is on the way.
Peyton Galyean will have more on what to prepare later and weather. We'll be right back. Most students start searching for their summer jobs come the end of the school year. OU Nightly's Jayden Brannon sat down with one Deer Creek student about how he found a way to give back to his community.
Zayden Anderson decided to take on the 50-yard challenge over his summer break.
It probably took all summer. Probably 1 or 2 weeks into school I finished it.
Kids all over the country mow 50 free yards for elderly, disabled, single moms, veterans, or active military. When they complete the program, they receive a brand new lawnmower, weed eater, and a leaf blower.
No money out of pocket to do it, besides a little bit of sweat, and that's it.
Just like this, Zayden pushed his lawnmower over several lawns, but imagine doing it in one of Oklahoma's worst heat waves.
It set us back a ways because all the grass died. We were, like Dad said, we were probably predicted to be done in like near July end of that. And then the heat wave came in, it killed all the grass, which set us back a ton.
With some help from his dad, Zach, Zayden was able to complete the 50-yard challenge and received the new set of tools.
I feel proud of myself, and I feel very accomplished. Like I met my goal.
They're happy with the ways they were able to give back to their community this summer and are looking forward to Zayden's new lawn care business kickstarting next season.
It's really let him, see what he's able to get out of it. He got a really nice mower, a blower, a weed eater that now he's set up to go run his own little business if he wants to as well.
Reporting in Edmond, Jayden Brannon, OU Nightly.
Families can submit a picture of their child accepting the challenge at weareraisingmen.com. Now, it has been 3 weeks since the last OU football home game.
Yeah, that's right. We'll have more about football and other Sooner sports later on in Big Friday Sports. And we got some significant rain coming in. Peyton, what can we expect?
Well, right now, not a cloud in the sky. You can see those mums on the South Oval starting to bloom. But coming up in Maine weather, I'm going to talk about the severe weather chance tomorrow night. Welcome back to OU Nightly. Right now, not a cloud in the sky here on the South Oval. You can slowly start to see those mums bloom for homecoming week. And right now, temperatures are really warm for this time of year. 84 degrees right now here in Norman. This morning you had those jackets. You ditched them coming into the afternoon. It does not feel like fall at all. And for your fall foliage, pretty much just north of Oklahoma, touching the Kansas border, is when leaves are starting to change. You can see a little bit here and there around Norman. The bigger change is coming later in the coming weeks. Right now, 84 here in Norman, 84 Oklahoma City, 88 down in Lawton. It is not fall-like temperatures at all. Feels more like summer, definitely not homecoming weather. And right now, a 9-degree temperature change compared to yesterday. 10 degrees warmer in Oklahoma City. We're just getting warmer before we get colder. And warm temperatures and very strong winds, especially up in the Tulsa metro, is why the Tulsa area is in a red flag warning going into 8 o'clock tonight. So something you want to keep in mind. And these allergies are not lighting up at all. You can see grass is fairly low. That has gone down. Trees and mold still at a medium level, but weeds still high. It's something we see until we have our first freeze of the season, which isn't until about the first week of November. So we're going to be dealing with that for a couple more weeks. And I feel like every time I show this drought monitor, it just gets worse. But there is relief on the way. We can see up to almost an inch of rain here in Norman this weekend. With this slight chance of severe weather, the Storm Prediction Center has issued. It's right about along Highway 9 in south. Part of Norman is included in this. Hail and wind is going to be the biggest threat. We're not strangers to hail events in October. It's something we know all too well. I don't expect any large hail like we saw last October, but timing this out, the football game is fine. You can see 6 o'clock temperatures or rain starting to pop up. About 9:30, you can see right here, storms starting to fire up. 10:30 here in Norman. They're going to push out across the area. After midnight, nothing for us to experience. And if you're tailgating tomorrow for the homecoming parade, it's going to be cold, 62 degrees. And going into the football game, Once you get into the fourth quarter, temperatures are going to warm up into the 80s. So once again, a very huge temperature difference. And then going into your next week, you can start to see those 30s come into your 7-day forecast, much colder going into the later weeks of October.
Now, we missed out on Big Friday sports last week with OU Texas, but we're back.
Big Friday Sports' Brooklyn Sweet has more on a homegrown Oklahoma football player. Brooklyn?
One of OU Nightly's own gives us an exclusive on what one Sooner football star says his nerves are on and off the field. That and more next in sports.
Welcome to Big Friday Sports. I'm Stone Weber.
And I'm Brooklyn Sweet. Today we start off with what Sooner fans want to know going into the Kansas game tomorrow morning. OU Nightly's Dylan Rivera is live with us now outside Owen Field.
There's a lot of things occupying the minds of Sooner Nation right now. It's homecoming, there's new uniforms, of course the win-loss record. But there's a major question going into tomorrow's game that is still left unanswered. Who's going to get the start at quarterback? Quarterback Dylan Gabriel says at practice that he is still in concussion protocol, but he is still trying to fight out of it.
Still in it, just, continuing to, work with the trainers. But I feel really good, thankfully. I took the first 2 days really seriously, just resting and trying to do everything I could to, get back.
In place of Gabriel, Sooner fans got 6 quarters with a mixed bag of Davis Bevel at QB and a Wildcat offense centered around tight end Braden Willis. But according to head coach Brent Venables, Gabriel has been fully involved in practice this week.
He's full go at practice. I think they're just continuing to, whatever all those tests are, they do those to make sure that they're on the right side of it. And, if he continues to stay out of harm's way in regards to that protocol, I would expect him to play.
Now, there's been nothing put out by the folks across the street, but Coach Venables said that they would get official word on Gabriel's status on Thursday, so keeping their cards close to their vest. Reporting live from outside Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium, Dylan Rivera, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Dylan. OU Nightly's Hallie Moss caught up with defensive lineman Ethan Downs at Big 12 Media Days and found out what his sights are set on this season.
For Ethan Downs, one of Oklahoma's leaders this year and a hometown boy, playing in Norman was always the dream, and that dream is just getting started.
Family loves OU, a lot of tradition, a lot of culture. Grew up an Oklahoma kid, so I'm living the dream.
As for goals for the upcoming season, Downs has a clear vision.
I just want to be great, and not great to impress everybody in the stands, not great to impress cameras, not great to impress coaches, but just to be great.
It's been an eventful last couple of months for Downs in more ways than one. The sophomore recently got engaged, and the nerves may have been higher than fourth quarter in the Cotton Bowl.
I was so nervous. My leg was shaking. I almost threw up on her. No, I'm playing. 3rd of July, right before the fireworks and stuff. Just kind of the spirit of 4th of July, the fireworks, all that. And it was a surprise to her. Her mom knew. She went with me to buy the ring, and it was a great time.
It's safe to say he's got an exciting year ahead of him and hopefully less nerves on his wedding day. Reporting from AT&T Stadium, Hallie Moss, OU Nightly.
All eyes are on 2 Jayhawks gaining attention from the NFL. OU Nightly's Pierce Loeffelholz talks about how they're hoping to make their mark this season.
The Kansas Jayhawks are gearing up for their 2nd season under head coach Lance Leopold, and the program is already taking steps in the right direction with 2 players from both sides of the ball garnishing attention from the NFL draft boards. Senior safety Kenny Logan Jr. made the preseason All-Big 12 team for the first time in his career after ranking 3rd in solo tackles in the nation in 2021. But the electric DB has a different take for this season.
This year I don't really plan on being that high in tackles. I want to definitely make the tackles when I need to make them, but I definitely want to be ranked that high in interceptions. I definitely want to try to give our offense the ball back and just create plays like that.
On the opposite side of the ball, redshirt senior left tackle Earl Bostic Jr. is looking to fill roles on and off the field.
The specific goal I truly have is trying to be a better leader first and foremost, and that's like be a better leader and be a better like I say a better brother instead of a teammate. Like I said, my time is like running short and stuff like that, and then I want to like leave that legacy of like behind me after I leave the old line. I want to make sure that once I leave, somebody don't step up and do the same thing that what I did and do even better.
Logan and Bostic Jr. both look to lead Kansas to their first bowl game since 2008. Reporting from Arlington, Pierce Loeffelholz, OU Nightly.
After a tough loss last week at the Cotton Bowl, the Sooners are still favored to win tomorrow morning's game against the 5-1 Jayhawks. As Dylan told you earlier, there's a possibility OU quarterback Dillon Gabriel will make a comeback to the field, while Kansas will start backup QB Jason Bean after news of Jalen Daniels' shoulder injury.
Yesterday, senior softball star Grace Lyons was named a top 30 honoree for the 2022 NCAA Women of the Year Award. Lyons is the only softball student athlete and Big 12 Conference top 30 selection on the list. The selection committee will pick 9 finalists, which the NCAA Committee on Women's Athletics will choose the 2022 Women of the Year. And this morning, both OU men's and women's tennis continue their momentum at the ITA Central Regional Championships. The men swept the doubles in the round of 32 with wins over St. Louis, North Dakota, and Wichita State. The women's moved on to round of 16 with 2 wins over K-State and Central Arkansas. Both teams continue into the afternoon with singles.
And coming off of a loss in Lubbock, OU volleyball looks to end their 2-match losing streak tomorrow night at McCaslin Fieldhouse. The Sooners are currently 9th in the Big 12 standings, but are 6-1 at home on the season. The match starts at 6 p.m.
OU suffered a hard loss last night in Lawrence in women's soccer. The Sooners outshot the Jayhawks 20-13, but fell to KU 3-1. Staying on the road, the ladies play K-State this Sunday at 1 p.m.
Thursday Night Football had another low-scoring game as the Washington Commanders traveled to the Windy City to take on the Chicago Bears. This was a game of opportunities, and the Chicago Bears just could not find their way into the end zone in the fourth quarter. With 1st and goal from the 5, the Bears failed to convert on all 4 downs, giving the Commanders their 2nd win of the season, 12-7. Justin Fields finished with just 190 yards passing and only completed 51% of his passes. Coming up next on Big Friday Sports, our Brigg Bates breaks down local Thursday night lights.
And there was a marvelous game up in Morgantown. Find out what went down between 2 Big 12 foes. Stick around.
Welcome back to Big Friday Sports. And after a few weeks of being away from the Palace, OU football is back at the Palace, and if you are tailgating tomorrow morning, it might be a little chilly. 62 degrees for your homecoming parade, and once you walk into the stadium, temperatures are going to quickly warm up. Starting kickoff at 11 a.m., temperatures are going to be in the 70s by halftime, back in the 80s, and in the fourth quarter, 86 degrees. Another 11 a.m. kickoff like last week in Dallas, another hot game expected, and above average temperatures.
It's fall break for a lot of high schools across Oklahoma, so there were plenty of teams in action on Thursday night. Brigg Bates has more.
I'm Brigg Bates, and it's time for some action-packed Thursday night lights in the OKC Metro. High school football is heating up around the state as we head into Week 7. The Norman North Timberwolves travel up 35 for a district matchup against the Southmore SaberCats. Running back Chapman McCown unleashes the trailer for a monster 58-yard touchdown to put the Wolves up 14-0. Southmore roared back with their own touchdown, making it 14-7. Game at the end of the first. A pooch kick by North forces a fumble, and the Timberwolves didn't look back. North scores 29 unanswered going into the half, up 43-7, killing off the SaberCats just like the Ice Age. North moves on 5-2 after a 64-10 win over Southmore. Heading over to the Yukon Millers as they host the Owasso Rams in a district matchup. Rams quarterback Mason Willingham takes the keeper for a powerful 6 as Owasso takes the lead 21-17 at half. Willingham drops a dime to Anthony Hills for yet another Ram touchdown to ice the game. The Rams defense came out firing on all cylinders, holding the Millers to 0 points in the second half. Owasso stumbles Yukon on the road 36-17. And the undefeated Redhawks made the trip southwest to take on the Mustang Broncos. Mustang running back Jay Bedford found the hole and fought his way into the end zone. But it was too late as the Redhawks flew past the Broncos, outscoring Mustang 32-14 in the second half. Union running back DJ McKinney hit the gap to seal the game 53-21. They are now 7-0 and one of the top teams in Oklahoma. Back to you guys.
Last night, Baylor traveled to Morgantown to take on West Virginia in some midweek college football action.
Baylor starting quarterback Blake Shapen was knocked out of the game due to a head injury from a hit from cornerback Andrew Wilson-Lamp. Baylor's offense slowed down after Shapen left the game, and with 33 seconds left, West Virginia kicked a field goal to upset the Bears 43-40.
Staying within the conference, the Big 12 has some very exciting matchups this weekend. Oklahoma hosts 19th ranked Kansas, and Iowa State heads to Austin for a matchup with the 22nd ranked Longhorns. But the biggest game of the day takes place in Fort Worth as the 13th ranked Frogs host the 18th ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys.
The Astros hosted the Mariners in the second game of the ALDS Thursday afternoon, and it was another sensational performance from Yordan Alvarez. With the game tied 2-2 in the sixth, Alvarez launched a 371-foot bomb, propelling the Astros to a win and putting them up 2-0 in the series.
Thank you for watching Big Friday Sports, and don't forget to tune in at 11 a.m. to watch the Sooners take on the Jayhawks.
Have a safe and fun weekend. Boomer Sooner, and good night.